Just want to give everyone a quick reminder, move at a pace that works for you. If anything that we do isn't feeling great for you, even if it has in the past, absolutely stop, take a deep breath, and join us again when you feel ready to start up again. Okay, let's start standing on our mats. We're going to turn our toes out to the sides just a touch, pointing them out toward those bottom corners of the room. Let's stand up nice and tall, settling our weight back toward our heels. Since the toes are out to the sides, that's going to give us the most secure, stable base of support. As if we're back toward those heels, we're going to press our big toes firmly into the floor and draw the belly and spine gently toward each other. Let's take a big breath in through the nose, arms come up and overhead. We'll exhale them down. Good, again, big breath in, arms come up, exhale them down. Inhale, arms come up again, clasp the palms this time. We're going to press them up toward the ceiling and drop our shoulder blades down to the floor. Keeping the belly and spine gently engaged and drawn toward each other, let's walk our toes and heels out a little farther away from each other, and we'll take some nice tall side bends. We're going to reach up and over to each of those opposite sides of the room. Inhale up, exhale and over. Inhale up and exhale over. Let's take those arms up to the ceiling. Drop the shoulders down again. We're going to bring our hands out until they're lined up with those shoulders. And then thinking about taking our collarbones away from the center of the body, let's reach our fingertips out to the wall on either side and roll those shoulders in little circles. We're going to make circles on the wall out to either side of us. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's take it the other direction. Circle, keeping the upper body trunk nice and still. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch those arms out to the sides. We'll bring them right down by our bodies. And then let's move our feet in a little bit closer to each other. Feet are parallel now. Heels are lined up with our sit bones. And we're going to shift our center of gravity just slightly to bring it right in front of our toes. Hands are going to come to our midsection, pressing the heel of the hands into the outside of the hips. Fingertips pressing in right around that belly button. And let's shift our weight forward and back toward the toes and toward the heels. We're trying to keep our big toe, our pinky, and that heel firmly anchored into the mat as we move. And we'll feel some little subtle movements underneath our hands as we shift our weight. Let's take our weight right back to the center over those ankle joints. We'll move our fingertips out to our waistlines. We're pressing the fingertips into the waistline in front, thumbs into the waistline behind. Let's widen our feet up just a touch and soften the knees. So we got a little bit of bend in the knees. And let's shift our weight from foot to foot, pressing the floor away with those feet. As we shift, we're going to feel our core working. Those muscles are kicking into our fingertips. We'll feel our hips loading at those gluteal muscles as we transfer that weight from side to side. Let's make some circles around that base of support. We can straighten up those knees if you'd like. We're keeping our hips and our pelvis nice and still, nice and upright, moving from those ankle joints. Let's circle the other way. Circle for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. We're going to pause right at the front of the foot, press the big toe and pinky into the floor, unweight those heels a touch, and let's take ourselves up a little higher. Lift those heels a couple inches up off the mat. Shifting the weight forward, we should notice that that core does a little bit more in terms of activity. Maybe we take our arms and stretch them up toward the ceiling. Hold them up tall. Take a big breath in. Keeping the weight forward, we're going to exhale and lower our heels to the mat. We'll shift that weight right back over the front of the ankles and take our arms down by our sides. Let's widen up our feet a bit now. We're going to keep those feet shoulder width apart. Toes are going to face forward this time. Hands are going to come right to where the femurs fold into the pelvis, right at those hips, and we're going to tip that body forward. The crown of the head, the middle back, and that tailbone are nice and lined up with each other. We have about 30 to 45 degrees of bend in those hips to start. We're going to move our hands to the outsides of those hips, right to our glutes. Squeeze the blades together just slightly behind the back, and let's shift our weight side to side again, like we did in standing. But when we're shifted forward in this way, we might notice a little more work through the backs of the hips. Shift that weight side to side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it right back to the middle. We're going to come up nice and tall and make that quarter turn so we're lengthwise on our mat. And as we think about coming down to the mat for hands and knees, if you think you're going to need a little padding for your knees, we could always double up the mat that's on the floor, or we could grab a towel, roll it up, and place it right underneath the shins. Just keep that in mind as we move toward the mat. We're going to fold through those hips again, hinging the body forward. Find that first point of stretch that we get behind the thighs, and we're gonna work there. We're gonna let our hamstrings lengthen out. Maybe wiggle through those knees a little bit. Straighten and bend them a touch. Feel the difference. We might feel that stretch all the way from our buttocks all the way down to those heels. Wiggle again. We'll bend those knees, softening them just slightly, and let's take our hands toward the floor. Keeping the weight toward the front of the ankle joints, let's row. Squeeze the blades, tucking the elbows by the sides, and then release the hands to the mat. Again, squeeze and row. Release, squeeze and row, and release. Repeat for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, we squeeze those blades, squeeze those elbows, tucking them right in by the trunk. Straighten and bend, triceps presses. Warm up those arms for all the work we're gonna do on hands and knees in a bit. Press them for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding here, let's take a big breath. Exhaling, arms come down toward the mat. We're gonna soften our knees a bit till we can get our fingertips down on the floor. And let's walk ourselves out first to a crouched position, keeping the tops of the undersides of the toes pressed into the mat. And then let's lower our knees down to our supporting surface. If you do need that extra padding, go ahead and adjust it now. From here, we're gonna curl to cat, curling the belly up toward the spine, looking toward those thighs. And we're gonna reverse and extend to cow, breastbone toward the wall in front, tailbone comes toward the ceiling. Again, curl to cat, reverse to cow. We have 2 more here. I want you to think about pressing the balls of the feet into the floor. We're gonna get a little big toe stretch, a little sole of the foot stretch, maybe even a little calf stretch. Last curl, last reversing to cow. Take it back to neutral, and we're gonna rag our tail side to side, hip toward that screen, and then take that hip to the other side. Good. Take it right back to the middle. Let's turn the tops of the feet under now. Feet come together, knees come apart. Keep that belly engaged as we press the bottom back toward the heels. Move through a range that feels appropriate for you. We might get a little stretch through the knees, a little stretch through those glutes. And then as we walk our hands toward the front of our mat, we're gonna feel a nice stretch through the sides of the trunk, through the underarms. If you start feeling a lot near the elbows, I want you to bend your elbows, put some slack back in that system. Take them out as far as we can. We're gonna lower our foreheads gently toward the mat and take a big breath in. Exhale, keep that belly drawn toward the spine. We're gonna lower our forearms down. Everyone bends them, even if they haven't been yet bent to date. We're gonna shift our weight over the forearms, and then let's take our legs back behind the body. As we draw those thighs to the floor, we're gonna keep that belly engaged. Hold it here. Let's squeeze through our shoulder blades, and let's press those blades toward the floor. Squeeze through the blades, press them through the floor. We're trying to keep our head and neck nice and still, moving those shoulder blades on a nice stable trunk. Press the blades to the floor. Let's start lengthening out through the front of our thighs. We're giving them a little active warm up. Kick a heel to the bottom and straighten it out, and repeat on the other side. Trunk stays nice and still. Low back stays nice and still. We bend the knee as far as we can, lengthening through the front of the thigh only. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take our upper bodies. We're gonna bring them down to the mat. And as we turn over onto our backs, let's bend our knees up. We're gonna line those heels up with our sit bones. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, draw the belly back toward the spine. Feel those muscles engaged. We can press into that trunk. Inhale the arms to the ceiling, and we're gonna exhale them all the way back overhead. Elbows stay nice and straight. We're gonna reach our fingertips toward the wall behind us. Take them as far back as you can with straight elbows, and nod the chin down toward the neck. Take another big breath in, and as we exhale, we're gonna lower our breastbone and that middle back toward the floor. Breathe it in again. As we exhale, draw the lowest ribs and the belly button down toward the spine. Let's inhale, arcing our hands to the ceiling, and we'll exhale them down, placing our fingertips right around that belly button and the heels of the hands at our pelvis. We're gonna widen our collarbones away from the center of the body, keep the core engaged, and let's lift our heels, our toes up rather, off the floor. Press the heels down. We're gonna lighten up our weight through those heels. Lift them up one at a time, little tiny marches while monitoring that trunk. As we lift one heel up, can we maintain that stability through the core? Can we keep that belly drawn down? And do our hip bones stay nice and still? Let's bring our heels back to the floor, and we're gonna walk them out away from the body. Walk your heel away from its corresponding sit bone. Notice more core as we come out to a straight knee position, and then we're gonna reverse it and walk our heels back up until our knees are bent. Exhale, walk the feet out. Inhale, bending the knees, we'll walk the feet back in toward the bottom. One more time, walk them out. Good, inhale, walk them back up to tabletop. Or toward our preparation for tabletop. We'll take our toes down to the floor, keeping the core engaged. We'll take our hands down to the mat and let's lift one knee up to 90 degrees. We'll bring the other one up to meet it in tabletop. Let's hold it there, feeling those core muscles engaged. We could bring the knees a little closer to the shoulder if we need more support for that trunk. We could take them a little farther away if we want to challenge those cores a little bit more. Let's hover the hands up off the floor and straighten those knees to the first point of resistance. Bend them back to tabletop. Exhale and straighten. Inhale and bend. Exhale and straighten. One more time. Inhale and bend. Exhale, straighten to that first point of resistance. Hold them right there. We nod the chin toward the neck. Draw the belly down, scooping that low back a little closer to the floor. And let's pat our hands up and down. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep this pattern going, challenging yourself differently as need be. If we need to take a half step back, as we breathe in and out, we bend our knees, maybe even taking a kickstand down to the floor, a little more assistance from that leg. We could challenge it further by pressing those legs a little closer to the middle of the wall, or even taking them down a little further. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Let's flip the palms up and press the air to the ceiling. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe it out. Pause with those hands where they are. We're going to flip the palms down toward the floor. Let's pull the knee farthest from the screen all the way into the chest, keeping that core nice and active. We're going to reach our toes toward where the wall and ceiling meet, tightening the front of that thigh up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Keep them nice as relaxed as we lengthen our heel down toward the floor. And then inhale that leg up toward the corner. Exhale and lower to the bottom. Inhale and lift toward that ceiling. Let's repeat. Lower and lift. If you need to move a little slower or faster than I am, that's okay. Take it through a range and a speed that works for you. We're going to lower that straight leg all the way down until it's just barely hovered off the floor. Reset that core, and let's take that straight leg side to side toward the screen and away. Keep it going. Twice more. Last one. Stretch that leg forward, keep it hovered, big breath in. As we exhale, we'll pull our opposite knee into the chest, reset belly to spine, and we're going to lengthen that opposite leg all the way up to where the wall and ceiling meet, tightening up the thigh. Let's lower it down, hovering it up off the floor, hands on the pelvis to stabilize and to monitor if necessary. Inhale, lift that leg up toward that top corner. Exhale and lower. Inhale and lift. Low back stays nice and still. Exhale and lower. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Let's hold that heel hovered up off the floor, and we'll take it side to side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lengthen that leg forward. Stretch it out as close to the floor as you can get it. Let's switch our legs. Pull the other knee in, pressing forward. Repeat here through a pace that works for you. Nod your chin. Maybe we unweight the back of the head from the floor. If you do not have bone density issues, you are welcome to curl that upper body up, sending that breastbone toward the pubic bone. Let's switch those legs. Curl for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. We're going to keep that leg closest to the screen right where it is. We'll lower it down to the mat, curl that upper body down if it's been lifted, and let's take our opposite hand to that bent knee and wiggle it across the body. Wiggle it toward that screen. Feel that low back open up. Feel that hip open up. Let's take it back to the center. Flip your grip, hanging on behind the thigh. We'll extend that leg up to the ceiling. And let's flex and point into our hamstrings. Keep that leg nice and still as you can. We'll point the toes, draw the belly down, and hover that other leg up off the floor. Keep it hovered if you can. Whether that leg comes down or stays lifted, we're going to take our arms to the ceiling. Let's keep our pelvis nice and still as we take our lifted leg out to the side, back to the center. Take it to the side and back to the center. Twice more. Last one, side to side. Let's make some circles. Reach those toes up toward the ceiling. Here's 3. Here's 2. Pause at the top, inhale. Breathing out, we'll take it the other way. Circle for 4. For 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's pull that knee into the chest, give it a little hug. Keeping the core engaged, we're gonna switch them up. Pull that opposite knee in, stretch that other leg out straight first to the hover, and then we'll float it all the way down to the mat. Switch the hands and pull that bent knee away from the screen. Let's rock it here. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Take it right back to the middle, hang on behind that thigh, extend that leg toward the ceiling, and we'll flex and point into that hamstring stretch and that opening for the back of the thigh. Point the toes to the ceiling, hover that supporting leg up off the floor, resetting the belly to the spine. Decide if you want to keep that leg hovered or lower it to the mat, and we raise our arms to the ceiling. Lifted leg, again, nice and controlled. Take it side to side. Good. Twice more. And 1. Let's make some circles. Here's 4, 3, 2. Pause at the top, inhale. Breathing out, we'll take it the other way. Circle for 4, for 3, for 2. Hold it up there. Let's extend our arms out, hanging on behind those thighs. Draw the belly down. We'll switch our legs. Lift that straight leg up to the ceiling. Switch the grip, lower the other leg toward the floor. Let's repeat through here at your own pace. Pausing at that hovered position if you can. That'll make that core work a little bit more. Maybe again, we nod the chin. If you do not have bone density issues, you are welcome to curl up into that partial sit-up position. Let's switch it up here. We could always bend the knee if we need to take some slack back into the system. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's pull both knees back to tabletop. If that upper body's been lifted, we're gonna take it down to the mat, maintaining that chin nod when the back of the head touches the floor. And let's keep a hold of the back of those thighs as we extend both legs up to the ceiling together and draw those heels toward each other. Let's take our hands down to the mat, bring them about 45 degrees away from the center of the body, and we're gonna flatten that back just a touch into the floor, shortening the pubic bone toward that breastbone. Let's take the lower half of the body side to side. We're drawing that horizontal line on the ceiling now with both legs. We could bend the knees if we need to add, again, a little more slack. And let's move to circles. We'll make some clockwise circles on the ceiling. Here's 4, 3, 2. Pause at the top, big breath in. Exhaling, take it the other way. Circle for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Let's bend our knees to 90. Pull them into the chest, give them a nice little rock side to side. Coming back to the middle, we'll return to that tabletop position with the arms to the ceiling. Big breath in, breathing out. Arm closest to the screen comes back overhead as we extend our other leg forward. Switch it through to the other side. Think about bringing your hand and your stretched out leg as far away from each other as you can get them while maintaining that nice stable trunk position. We'll switch them off here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms and legs back to the ceiling. Flex up those feet. Reset the belly to the spine. Pull the knees in a little closer if we need to take pressure off that area, that trunk. We're going to lower one heel to the mat and inhale it back up. Exhale and switch. Rock it back and forth. Take it at your own pace. Maybe we open the arms up back overhead as we march it. Take those legs back to tabletop, arms to the ceiling. Progressing if you'd like, we could stick with single leg lowering, or we could add both legs together, lowering the heels and raising to tabletop. Exhale and lower. Inhale to tabletop. Repeat. Building on this, we could take those arms overhead and then back to the ceiling. Exhale them away from midline. Inhale to the center. Let's repeat for 3 and lift. For 2. On this last one, we'll lower our heels to the floor, leave them there as we open those arms back overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, toes come down, inch those feet a little closer to the bottom. We're gonna turn our palms toward the ceiling. Let's make some snow angels. Exhale, arms out on a T. Inhale them down by the body. Exhale, arms out to the T, hands are shoulder height. Inhale up overhead. One more time, exhale, arms out to shoulder height. Inhale, hands by the body. Flip those palms over and press them into the floor. We'll take a big breath in and let's prepare for bridging by drawing the belly down toward the spine and pressing our heels into the mat. Let's squeeze those glutes, lift up to bridge. Trying as best we can to make a straight line from the shoulders to the hips to those knees. And we'll lower the body back down. Press to bridge and release at a pace that's working for you. Nice and steady, thighs are parallel to each other. Lift and lower. Let's press up into our bridge, holding it there. Keep those hips nice and lifted as we take it up and down on the toes. 7, 6, keep those hips still. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels come down. Lengthen the kneecaps toward the wall in front. We're going to squeeze those glutes, pulse to the ceiling. 6, 5, good job. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Exhale, curl that body down to the mat. Release those glutes at the bottom and let's rock those knees side to side. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Take those knees right back up to the ceiling. Reset, big breath in. Exhale, belly to spine, press back up to bridge and hold. We're going to keep our big toes pressed firmly into the floor. Keep those glutes squeezed. Let's take our knees out to the sides and then pull them back toward parallel. Exhale, open the knees, inhale together. Exhale and open, inhale together. Repeat. Inhale together. Let's move one leg at a time, starting with that one closest to the screen. Take it out and in. Everything else stays nice and still. Pelvis is facing the ceiling. Hip bones are pointed like headlights right up to your light fixtures. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch those knees forward. Breathe it in. Exhale, bridging down. Again, we release the bottom. Let's take those knees side to side. Knees come right back up to the top. Inch those heels just a touch closer to those rear ends. Big breath in. Belly to spine. Press up through bridge. We're going to hold it here. Squeeze those glutes. We're going to move through tabletop march. One knee comes up and down. And the other knee comes up and down. Try to press through that heel on the side of the foot that's bearing weight. That's going to give you a lot more ability to get into your glutes versus pulling those hamstrings in. A lot less likelihood of cramping. Switch them off. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press that second foot into the floor. Breathe it in. Exhaling, we'll lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. Release those glutes at the bottom. Take those knees side to side. Little rocks. Big breath in. Exhale. Taking the knees right back to the center. We'll cross that ankle closest to the screen, right to the opposite knee. We could hold here or we could lift up to figure 4 if we need a little bit more. Let's rock away from that cross-leg side. Hold it there. Big breath in. Exhaling, we'll come right back to the center. Let's lower everything down. Opposite ankle crosses to the knee. Holding here, or we could lift up. Let's rock the body toward the screen. Again, pulling into that opposite hip. Take a breath in. Breathe it out. We'll come right back to the center. Unwind. Let's take our feet down to the mat. Let's sweep our hands to the ceiling and lower those blades down. As we did at the beginning of class, we're going to keep that belly drawn in, that chin nodded, and let's walk our feet out till we get those legs as straight as we can, maintaining that same position of our spine. We want to keep that pelvis facing the ceiling and nice and still. If we had a bowl of water on it, it shouldn't slosh forward, back, or side to side. Let's open those arms back overhead with a big exhale. Keeping in mind, we want that chin drawn down, that breastbone drawn down, the lowest ribs and the belly anchored toward the floor. Let's walk them out. Lift a foot up and down. And then the other. Keep that pattern going. If your knees are bent, that's fine. We're just moving through a march with those arms overhead. Switch them off for 8, 7, 6, 5, Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch those arms back overhead, big breath in. As we breathe out, our arms come to the ceiling. We'll arc them down by our sides and bend up those knees. As we turn over to hands and knees, again, decide if you need to find something to pad up those shins with. Grab it now, take your time. As we ease into hands and knees, we'll curl through cat and release to cow. Just a couple of times. Get used to our new position. Pull back to neutral. Trunk stays engaged, belly stays drawn back. We're gonna squeeze our shoulder blades back behind the body and then press them forward toward the floor. Squeeze and press, repeating at a pace that's working for you. If you wanna make this more challenging, take it up to a plank. Squeeze and press, keep that core engaged. Shoulder blades do the work. Here's 4. Squeeze and press for 3, 2, and 1. Let's pull those knees right back down underneath those hips if they've been elsewhere. We'll go to single arm. Hand closest to the screen comes right to the thigh. We'll squeeze and press. Good. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. Switch it up. Opposite hand to the floor. Take that other hand right to the thigh. And again, squeeze and press through that weight-bearing side. Feel those muscles right at the outer border of those shoulders working. Good. One more time. Hand comes down. Big breath in. As we exhale, let's move to our shoulder taps. Hand to the shoulder. Opposite hand to the other shoulder. Alternate side to side. Keep that core engaged. If you want to make it more challenging, walk those hands forward toward the front of your mat. First, keeping the knees on the floor. We're in a high plank. Shoulders and wrists are lined up with each other. Notice the difference in rotational challenges as we walk those arms forward. We could take it a step further by coming up into our high plank. Optional progression. 4 or more wherever you are. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Hands come down, knees come back down. Wag that tail side to side. Take it back to neutral. We'll rock that bottom back to the heels. Stretch the arms toward the front of the mat. Let those armpits open up. Let the backs of the bodies open up. Big breath in. Exhaling, we'll take ourselves right back up to hands and knees. We're gonna press those blades toward the floor. We'll take that leg closest to the screen, back behind the body, and take the opposite arm forward. Switch it up. Move with intention. Find your balance point with each of these reaches. See what you need to do. If you need to shift around a little bit to feel more stable. Good. Let's hold our next diagonal reach. Keep that leg where it is. Switch off the arms. Switch for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring that arm down, leg stay still. We're gonna pulse the leg up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee. Again, we'll pulse it up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's float that knee back down. We'll switch our sides. We're gonna take the opposite leg back. Take the other arm forward. We have our nice diagonal reach. Switch those hands, shift and lift for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Hold it there. Hand comes down, pulse that straight leg for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep that core engaged. 2 and 1. Bend the back knee, pulse it up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down. Draw the backs of the heels. Drop those forearms to the floor, and we're just going to rock side to side. Push the floor away with those arms. We'll take it right back to the middle. We're going to come up to hands and knees one more time. Keep those thighs vertical. Now we'll take our forearms down to the floor. Trunks pulled, and we're going to take our eye down to the mat as well, just like what we did in the beginning of class. Lean toward the breastbone, belly strong toward the spine. Let's shift our weight toward our screen and away, toward the screen and away. Twice more. Last one. Shifting away. Take them right back to the middle. Bend that knee closest to the screen. Kick the heel to the bottom. Speed it up. Straighten it out. Switch it up. Switch for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Straighten those legs out, big breath in. As we exhale, we'll take our bodies down to the mat, press ourselves right back up to hands and knees. Let's curl to cat and release to cow. One more time, curl and release. Take it back to neutral, wag the tail side to side, upper body stays nice and still. Coming back to the middle. Let's make our way to a seated position, long sitting, facing lengthwise on that mat. We're gonna line up our heels with our sit bones, take ourselves up nice and tall so that trunk is vertical, head is oriented, so that the back of the head and the middle back are lined up with each other. Roll the shoulders back and down, holding it there, and we'll draw the belly back and away from our thighs. Now from this position, we're gonna bring our feet apart from each other, and let's lengthen them out into a narrow V with the heels at each of one of the edges of your mat. Hold it there. Straighten the knees out as much as you can with that trunk staying upright, and we'll take our hands and line them up with the middle of our feet. Keep the core engaged as we breathe in, and exhaling, we'll hinge forward. Inhale, let's come up tall. Exhale and hinge. Inhale up tall. Exhale, hinge forward. One more time, inhale up tall. Exhale, hinge forward. Hold it there. We'll take our hands down to our feet, and let's walk our hands toward our screen, opening up the arm closest to the screen. It's okay if your hand is up at your knee, if that keeps you up nice and tall. Let's roll through to our other side. Open up that arm. Switch it through again. Open up that arm. And we'll switch it through one more time. Open up that arm. Let's bring our hands right back to the legs. We'll come up nice and tall. Bring the knees in. We're going to shake them out a little bit, and we'll bend them up again, hanging on behind those thighs. Line the heels up with the sit bones. We're going to hang on like we're holding a nice round beach ball. And let's keep our trunk engaged as we lean back just a touch. We should feel our core muscles working here. We shouldn't feel a lot through the back. Let's go up onto the balls of our feet if we can. And then maybe we take our hands to a narrow V, about 6 inches away from the outsides of our knees. We're going to keep our arms and upper body nice and still. We're going to rock our knees toward the screen and away, moving from the waist down. We get out a can-can kick. Knees come toward the screen. Straighten that opposite leg up. Take them back down, switch. Straighten and switch. Straighten, moving through a range that works for you. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those toes back to the middle. Heels come down. We're going to hang on to the outsides of our thighs. We're going to press our hands and thighs toward each other. We can come up a little taller. Pressing the hands and knees toward each other, we should feel the outsides of the hips working. We're going to lengthen through our elbows, straighten them out, bring that upper body back just a touch. Big breath in, exhale, belly to spine. Let's open up that arm closest to the screen. Pull it out to the side, feel the other obliques working, the obliques working on the opposite side. Take the hand back to the knee and then switch it up. Repeat through here at your own pace. You are welcome to look forward. You're welcome to look towards your hand. You're welcome to close your eyes and just listen to my voice. Up to you. Switch it off for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's grab onto those shins, pull ourselves up nice and tall. The hands come back behind the body, and we're going to straighten our elbows. Squeeze your blades. If you need to take your fingertips and point them out to the sides, that's okay. We're going to inch that body forward, feel a stretch through the front of the arms and that chest. We're going to take our breastbone toward the ceiling. Hold it here. Hold it at the first point of resistance, and then maybe we wiggle through, see if we want a little more stretch. If it feels good, you can push it a bit. Maybe we add to this by squeezing those glutes and lifting up to our reverse tabletop. Hold it. Let's breathe in and exhale. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. One more time. Big breath in. Breathing out. Let's take that bottom down. We'll shake our wrists out here. We're going to make our way to a tall kneeling facing that screen. So if you do need a little more padding again, go ahead and find it now. We'll come right up to that tall kneeling position. We're going to curl that pelvis, pubic bone shortening toward the breastbone just a touch. And let's take our hands to our trunks. Monitor what's going on through those muscles, and we're going to lean back into our quads. Feel those thighs working. And we'll inhale up tall. Exhale, lean it back. Inhale, come up tall. Twice more. Exhale, lean. Inhale up. And one final time. Exhale, lean it back. Inhale up tall. Hands come right to the hips. We're going to extend one leg out to the side. We could take it forward a little bit to keep from cramping in that hip, and we're gonna drop into a squared off position. So that straight leg's gonna drop just a touch toward the mat. With the hands on the hips, take a big breath in, and exhaling, we'll hinge the body forward. Inhale it up. Exhale and hinge. Inhale it up. Exhale, hinge. We're gonna hold that hinge, take our hands to the floor. Let's open the arm on the side of the bent knee. Open it out to the side. Take it back to the floor. Open the other arm. Take it back down. One more time on each. Open. Bring it to the floor. Last one. Open it up. Take it to the floor. Keep that core engaged as we bring our hands back toward our hips and come up nice and tall. Inhale, arms out to the sides, and exhale, side bend toward that bent knee. We'll inhale up and take it over. And side bend reach. Up and over. Side bend reach. Up and over. One more time. Side bend reach. We're going to hold and pulse the leg. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take it up tall. Side bending side. Straight leg one more time. Let's bring our hands right back to our hips and switch it up. Opposite leg extends. Take it slightly forward if you'd like. Drop that hip down, feeling that inner thigh open up. Breathe it in. As we exhale, hinge forward. Inhale up. Exhale and hinge. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Take it up tall. Take it forward. Hands come to the mat. Let's bring that arm close on the bent leg side, out to the side, back down to the mat. Opposite arm comes out. Take it down. One more time to each. Bring it down. Opposite arm comes out. Take it back down. Let's draw that core in. Hands come right to the hips. We'll come up nice and tall. Inhaling the arms out to the side. Exhale, side bend toward that bent leg. And then we'll take it up and over. Side bend reach. Up and over. Twice more, side bend reach. Up and over. Last one, side bend reach and hold, pulse the leg. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up nice and tall, and we'll side bend toward that straight leg. Let's bring our bodies up back to that kneeling position, and we'll roll the shoulders back for 4. For 3, good job. Here's 2. There's 1. Let's make our way down onto our side. Let's rest on that bottom arm. Knees are forward. Heels are lined up with those glutes. We're thinking about lifting our waistline up from the mat and keeping that core engaged. Top hand comes to the floor. Knees come up and down. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down. Clamshell lift, top leg only. 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Both feet lift and lower. 3. Keep that waistline lifted. Hold the legs up there. Top knee presses up and down. Feet stay up. 3, 2. Hold the last one up there. Top leg straightens and bends. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bottom leg straightens and bends. 3, 2, 1. Toes touch. Bring the knees down. Bring the feet down. Fire hydrant lifts. Whole top leg comes up and down. 2, 1. Back to hip height. Circle. Small circles with that hip. Stir the leg in its socket. Reverse it. You're welcome to keep your hand on your knee. You could bring it elsewhere if you need a little more stability. One more time, line those knees up. We'll take our bottom leg, straighten it out. Fire hydrant lifts with the top leg. 3, 2, and 1. Back to hip tight, touch those toes down. Top knee comes down and up. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten that top leg out. Take it up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Circle backwards for 4, 3, 2, and reverse. Here's 4, 3, 2. Hold. Bottom leg comes up and down. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes down. Bend those knees up. Bat the hip out. Let's take ourselves up and over. Rest on that bottom arm. Line the heels up with those sit bones and lift that waistline. Pressing the top hand into the floor, we bring those knees up and down. 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down, lift those feet. Little different order here. 2, and 1. Feet come down, clamshell, bottom leg stays down. 3, 2, and 1. What if we keep that knee up, lift our feet and hold it there? Top knee comes down and up for 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. Straighten and bend that top knee. 3, 2, 1. Toes touch. Bottom leg comes down and up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch those toes. Bring that top knee down. Bring the feet down. Fire hydrant lifts. Keep that waistline lifted. 2, and 1 to hip height. Circle that knee. You're welcome to keep your hand on it or to keep that hand on the mat for a little stability. Circle the other way. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the bottom leg out. Top leg comes up and down for fire hydrant lifts. 2, 1. Back to hip height. Toes come down to the bottom knee. Down and up. Here's 4. Feel that burn yet? 3, 2, 1. Straighten that top leg out and hold it there. Take it up and down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle forward. 3, 2, and reverse. Last 4, 3, 2, and hold. Bottom leg comes up and down. 7, 6, 5, 4. Pull that bottom knee to the top knee. Take them down. Bend those knees. Pat that hip out and let's turn on our backs. Good job. Nod that chin toward the neck. Arms come away from the center of the body. And let's rock those knees toward the screen and away. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring them back to the center. Closest leg to the screen crosses over the other. Draw up into figure 4 if we can, and we'll rock away from that crossed leg as we take a big breath in. Breathe it out. Take it right back to the center. Let's unwind. Cross that opposite knee in. Lift to figure 4 if you can, and rock away from that crossed leg for a big breath in. Exhale, let's take it right back to the center. Let's go ahead and give those knees one final hug. We'll take our feet down. Let's turn over to hands and knees. And before we make our way to our feet, we'll curl and reverse through 2 cats and 2 cows. One more time, curl and reverse. Take it back to neutral. Let's come up to plank if we can. Take that tailbone to the ceiling. Drop the heels and walk those hands toward the feet. Once the weight's over those ankle joints, we can come up nice and tall. Shake everything out, reorient. And as we make our way to the center for balancing, remember we could always grab onto something. Sofa back chair, give ourselves a little stability. We're gonna settle our weight in over feet that are hip width apart. Get the weight right over those ankles. Let's shift our weight toward the toes, lifting the heels a touch, and we'll take it up and down. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there, big breath in. We'll slowly lower those heels down. Shift the weight back over the ankles, soften up those knees, and our hands go right to our midsections. We're gonna stand heel to toe. Once we have that stable base, you're welcome to turn your head and then look back toward the screen. Shift the weight to the back leg. Let's find our single leg balance. Let's take that leg forward, a lifted leg. Make some little circles. Circle in the other way. Reverse. And reverse. Feel that stable side working. Find your way back to balancing. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that leg down. Opposite foot comes forward. Find that heel toe standing. And let's look side to side. And let's look forward. Shift to that back leg. Find that single leg balance. We'll take our leg forward and circle it. Feel all those little adjustments that standing leg has to do as we reverse the direction of our circle. Switch it again. And again. Let's pause in our single leg balance. Hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Take those feet down. Spread those feet shoulder width apart. We'll shake out our knees. Coming back over those heels, we'll roll the shoulders back and down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's close with a big breath in. Arms come up, palms together. Let's take our feet together. Stretch those fingertips up to the sky. Inhale and exhale to center. Happy Friday, guys. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next time.